Hello and welcome to our Digital Professional Learning Launch webinar. It's very exciting to have everyone with us today and listening into this webinar to hear more about the programme for professional learning that we're going to be hosting throughout the year from now until November to help you learn some new and digital skills or enhance existing ones. My name is Rich McKean and I'll take you through today more about what we will have to offer all Glasgow practitioners in the way of professional learning for our Apple Teacher Monday and also our new professional learning environment called Creative Classrooms. So welcome, and I've introduced myself. Really the timeline today is to go through Apple Teacher Monday and to explain what we'll be doing with it and how Apple Teacher Monday will be hosted by our Glasgow Regional Training Centre facilitators. Also to give you more details about our Creative Classrooms, which will be hosted and run by some of our DLOs as well as other practitioners within Glasgow, and to really tell you what's next and how you'll be able to access both the Apple Teacher Monday programme and also the Creative Classrooms programme. So first up is Apple Teacher, and Apple Teacher Monday is back. It was highly successful during lockdown. Many practitioners within Glasgow accessed the training that was available within the Glasgow City Council webinars team, the Apple Teacher Monday channel, and we're just going to really build on that. So for every Monday onwards from now on, there will be an Apple Teacher Monday, except for the ones that are holidays at September weekend and also the October week. The first one is an introduction to Apple Teacher, and then we'll go on to Pages, Keynote, Numbers, iMovie, GarageBand and Swift. And they will be hosted by a range of our RTC members as well as some of our DLOs, and they will explain how they went about gaining their Apple Teacher recognition and giving you support to do that if you wish to do it. You don't need to gain the Apple Teacher recognition. It's a really good programme, but if you just want to do it for your own professional learning as well, that's absolutely fine. The other things that they're going to show you through the Apple Teacher programme, not only the Apple Teacher badges themselves and how you can use them towards the recognition, is the other things that are available on the website. There's over 120 hints and tips of the different things you can do within the Apple apps, and the other things that are in there as well as the programme for support for remote learning. There's the hashtag Apple EDU chats, which take place every Tuesday, as well as the little picture you can see there for the 30 time-saving tips for teachers. So our amazing bunch of RTC facilitators and our DLOs will take you through how to gain the Apple Teacher, as well as showing you the other aspects of the website which are really, really useful to your teacher. There's one especially useful part, and that is the Apple Teachers in Action, and that is showing you teachers in the classroom and how they use Apple Teacher programme and how they've used the different apps. There's an example of Martin Luther King, and it is how it uses Keynote to create a report about Martin Luther King, where two children record little podcast voices, little sound bites within the GarageBand app, and then they use a Sketches app to make a sketch of Martin Luther King's face, and then they add it all to the Keynote to kind of create a report, the same way you would do it in a jotter or on a piece of paper, but just using the tools within the Apple products. We'll have lots and lots of helpers, particularly one of them will be Elaine McShane from St Philomena's Primary School, and she'll be going over iMovie and how you can use iMovie in your classroom to make little movies. iMovie is a wonderful resource. It's got a lot of features, and it's really good to get your children involved in filming because they like that kind of thing. There's different ways you can use it, but you can use it to add. You can film and then add titles and music and different effects, and you can make some really, really stunning cinema quality films using the iPads. The other thing is you can select from dozens of styles to add beautifully animated titles and credits to your movies. You can make action shots, you can put picture in picture, you can split screens, and you can also use exotic locations using the green screen effects in iMovie. So there's lots and lots of different options there. I think iMovie plays a vital role because as we go forward in the new norm, there is ways of using Apple Teacher to engage with our families as well as our learners. And then obviously you can add soundtracks and things as well. So there's lots and lots of features within iMovie that Elaine will be taking you through when she hosts that webinar. Daniel, he'll be going on from Daniel Keenan from Cuthbertson's Primary School. He'll be showing you how to use numbers. Daniel's already used this one. He's already done a webinar on this, which was really successful, and he'll be building on that with this one. Numbers is databases, and databases for me personally can be quite daunting and quite dry, but Daniel has a really nice way of making it exciting and engaging for his learners. He'll take you through the normal kind of features of pages and keynotes and numbers, which is the kind of fonts and styles and different things you can add. You can add in, you can insert a variety of things, you can build tables, you can build charts, you can add text, you can put in shapes, and you can put in medias to begin to make lots of Venn diagrams. You can make infographics, and you can use it as a huge database, depending if you want to create really simple calculations or ones that are far more precise and complicated. You can drop in all sorts of data and use one of the ready-to-use templates to make your data and your graph and your grids look absolutely gorgeous. So Daniel from Cuthbertson will be taking you through the Numbers app as part of our Apple Teacher program. So that was Apple Teacher. Now we've got Creative Classrooms. Creative Classrooms is a new feature that is basically building on what was done previously for the coffee break webinars. Creative Classrooms will be a space within Teams that staff can join and come along to and listen to webinars from a variety of practitioners who have used a variety of apps within their setting. These apps will be part of the self-service offer, and it'll be on those apps first and foremost. We put a recent survey out, and the demand came back for those apps to be part of the professional learning offer, so they will be on the apps within the self-service. There'll be 30-minute sessions, hopefully hosted from 4 to 4:30, and they will be on Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays. Sometimes there'll be 3 on a week, sometimes there'll be 1 on a week. Hopefully there'll never be none, but that might just be the case because we are relying on the amazing DLOs and RTC members, facilitators to host these, as well as other practitioners that we will ask that have really good examples of how they've used these apps within the self-service, within their environments and their classrooms and their settings. We're looking for excellent practice always, so we can build on everybody's needs and to support people as best we can. So hopefully that you'll be able to join some of these webinars and maybe learn some new skills. I'll certainly be joining a few of them because there's apps that I would love to know how they're used, and having heard people during lockdown and how they used apps that I'd never heard of, I'm really excited about that, and those are the types of things that I want to begin to use. So 30 minutes on a Tuesday, a Wednesday and or a Thursday, and they will be hosted in our Glasgow team site, and they will be for 30 minutes. One of the first ones that we're going to do is an app called Explain Everything, and that's going to be hosted by Daniel Keenan again from Cuthbertson Primary School. Explain Everything is a highly versatile app. It is an interactive whiteboard app that can be used for just about anything. You can draw, you can present, you can animate, you can create videos, and you can collaborate. It is a powerhouse that works on virtually anything, and children find it very easy to use. You can go beyond the limitations of a physical whiteboard, obviously, and you can add anything you want. You can move things around, you can animate, and you can interact with it. You can add videos, you can add documents, and you can add video files to it. It is basically your screen on your iPad, but you can build out from it and add things, a bit like a spider diagram or a mind map. You can record what happens on the whiteboard, you can add in your own narration, and then you can share it with other people. It is extremely versatile, as I said. And Daniel will be able to take you through this in much more detail because he uses it within his school, and he's found the things that work really well and maybe the bits that don't. It comes with complete colour control, so there's so many different colours that you can use and add for different backgrounds and different shapes. There's pens, there's highlighters, there's pencils, and there's just buckets and buckets full of colour. You can move things, you can scale them, you can rotate drawings, you can add things from the internet. So there's lots and lots of different things you can do, and you can never run out of drawing space or working space within Explain Everything. You can simply zoom in and zoom out to get where you want things to be. It's great for flowcharts, it's great for timelines, it's great for family trees or the food chains or anything where you can order anything at all. As I said, it's very, very versatile, and you will find far more exciting ways than I can explain to use it in your own setting. So please come and join Daniel when he is doing his Explain Everything webinar. One of our other webinars will be Teams, and it will be myself and Laura that will be presenting them. We recognise that Teams is such a useful resource in the current climate for engaging with people. So the first one will be Teams for staff, and then we will roll it out and do more for pupils and how we can set assignments. But the first few webinars will be for staff and how staff can benefit from using this app on their iPads. It will be an introduction to Teams. It will be an overview of how Teams works and its kind of key features within the iPad, and how you can, the activity option, the chat option, the Teams option, the calendar option, and the more option. We'll show you how to start and manage Teams, how to use join codes, and how to use your channels and add channels. Show you how to post a message and the different features which you can use within the post option. We'll show you how to start a meeting via the video call and chat, but also within the calendar, and how you can use the calendar to set up dates and times and add it to channels and groups in different ways. So just how you organise that. And then we'll show you how to attach and share files and use the more button, which is good. Teams obviously works on the iPads, also works on the desktop. So if you in your setting at your school have access to the desktop, they work slightly different. So we'll be showing you how to use the iPad version, and that'll be myself and Lauren. And again, it'll be run from 4 to 4:30, and it'll be a half an hour session. So that is Teams. Our next Creative Classroom, or one of our Creative Classroom webinars, will be Showbie, and Jennifer will be doing that from St Mungo's. Jennifer has used this extensively within her own setting, and she'll be taking through the key features and also the things that she's found have worked really, really well, and the things that possibly haven't worked. She'll show you how you can share anything, how you can instantly distribute documents and images and instructions and comments to your entire class and your groups of students, or just individual students. She'll show you how to add photos and videos, how you can grab that image or that video from your camera roll, or capture a document on the fly with your device's camera, and then you can crop it and adjust it, and then Showbie, and then you can share it. She'll show you how you can add comments and links and voice notes by quickly adding instructions and guidance or links to assignments, and you can even record a voice note with verbal instructions for your students to give them feedback. So that's a really key one about reducing people's workload and thinking about all those jotters at the end of the day that can build up on your desk, how you can use Showbie as a little time saver and also as a paper saver. So it's a really, really useful app. She'll show you how to use the class folders and how you can add documents from anywhere. So Showbie, again, exceptionally versatile app that you can do very many things with. So it'll be excellent to hear Jennifer's take on that from St Mungo's and how she's used it in her setting. Added to that, Andrew's also available, Andrew Jewell, who's been working with Glasgow over the last few years, and he's able to do some Showbie and classroom input in your schools. He's able to do an introduction to Showbie. He's also able to help you with just strategic planning with Showbie, and also how to improve your feedback with Showbie. And he's also able to do an Apple Classroom input, how to get started with Apple Classroom and how to go further with the Apple Classroom. In terms of Showbie, he'll give you an overview of Showbie, he'll give you an introduction on the main features, and he'll give you some hints and tips on how to get started. They're all really useful if you're at the very beginning of your journey with Showbie. How do I get started with this app? So that, Andrew's availability to run the Glasgow sessions, as well as Jennifer's webinar, we've got a real good coverage of how we can use Showbie. If you're wanting to use it a bit more deeper and think about, well, I'm already using it, I don't need the introduction, Andrew will do a strategic planning with your school with Showbie, and he can show you how that can help with leadership and how you can use Showbie to integrate it into your school improvement plan. So that sounds really exciting as well. And then finally, he's able to do improving feedback with Showbie, how to use Showbie for feedback, how you can use class discussions and video, and how you can amplify pupils' voice using Showbie. Really important in this day and age that we're listening to our pupils and we can use pupil voice. In terms of Apple Classroom, again, this is one I'm going to join. I know of the app, I've seen the videos of it online, but I don't know anything about it, so I would really want to find more about this myself. And Andrew will tell you all about Apple Classroom, its basic features and how you can set up a class. and then he'll go further with it by moving on to formative assessment and differentiation. So again, Andrew is available to come into schools and work in different environments of how to do that. So that's great. So we've got Jennifer and Andrew who's able to do Showbie, and then Andrew to do a little bit more with Classroom. So that'll be fantastic. So what's next? Kelly Connor, team leader from Castlemilk Family Learning Centre, has been using Seesaw in her setting, and she knows all about it. So she'll be delivering a webinar on Seesaw. At this stage, a lot of people say Seesaw Showbie. It's not a case of Seesaw Showbie, it's a case of what works for you in your environment. But Kelly will be getting into her usage of Seesaw, what's worked well and how she's used it for her children, for her staff, and also for her parents. Seesaw is a platform for student and pupil and child engagement that inspires students of all ages to try and do their best, and it also saves teachers time. Again, going back to that Showbie where we can add voice and send things in real time and not have to wait, Seesaw allows us to do that as well. Students can use creative tools to take pictures, they can draw, they can record their little videos, and they can capture all their learning in little portfolios, and that little portfolio can stay with them, and Kel will be getting into that in more detail. So teachers can also find or create activities to share with their students, and a really superb option of it and facility is that families can see their own children's work, and they can leave comments and little bits of encouragement for their learners. So Showbie has similar features, Seesaw has similar features to Showbie, but can be slightly different. And again, it's not about one or the other, it's about using what you think is going to be best in your setting and your environments. So that's Kelly Connor, and she'll be doing a webinar on Seesaw. Next would be Clips. We'll have a webinar on Clips. I've got my name against it there, but it might not be me, it might be somebody else. Clips, a bit like iMovie is a filming and a recording a movie app. It's more about capturing moments. iMovie is more for movies and longer pieces of film, whereas Clips is for capturing moments. Getting started is simple and really quick. You just hold the record button on Clips and you capture a video on the spot, or grab a video clip or a photo from your library. It's really easy to use. You can pinch and drag whilst recording to smoothly zoom and pan across images to give you that kind of extra touch of drama. So it has some flexibility and it's not just flat screens, or you can use it for some comedy. You can say things that you see and when you're talking, so you can use live titles which allow you to easily create animated captions and titles. That is another quite good feature, very good for talking and listening and talking skills. Simply speak while recording the text and it automatically appears on the screen and it's synced to your voice. You can tap the clip to easily adjust the text if it's not right, if there's a wee spell mistake in it. Sometimes it picks up your Glasgow accent, sometimes it doesn't. And you can add the punctuation that isn't there or missing, or you can change the style of your title. So some flexibility in it again. The coolest thing about it is you can really jazz things up. You can add instant personality to your little clip by giving your videos the silent film look by making them black and white, or by adding some animated emojis. You can apply colourful stickers, Mickey Mouse, and all his friends. You can add Star Wars and you can add Toy Story. There's also really useful full screen posters for different genres which allow you to animate backgrounds to help you tell your story even more. You can set the mood with dozens of music tracks which allow you to use again for those genre posters. So another useful feature of Clips. It's more about capturing the moment than doing little long, large feature length movies like you can do in iMovie. But Clips is really versatile, and again, it's really easy to use. So hopefully you'll join us for the Clips webinar. One of our future webinars will be on Book Creator. And that will be hosted by Alison Burns from St Ninians Primary School. Again, I'm going to use this word, versatile. Book Creator is a highly versatile app which has lots of features and functions. It is an app that gives teachers and pupils the tools to create digital books. Books can be created, read, published and shared with different people. So it has a lot of options there and versatility, as I said previously. In Alison's webinar, she'll be looking at the key features of the app, how to create the book, how to use and share books, how to use the classroom, because there's a classroom option where children can engage in different books, and also how to go to the resource library and you can access different books within the resource library, and you can share and collaborate and work on books that have already been previously created. So there's different ways of using the app. In terms of classroom uses, Alison will be taking you through how you can create interactive stories, digital portfolios of work, research journals, short story collections, science reports, instruction manuals, all about me books and comics books. As I said, it's got so many different options that you can think about how you would create what you would normally on paper, you might want to do in books. Again, similar to iMovie and Clips, as well as Explain Everything. In fact, pretty much all the apps we've shown today or talked about today, or what future webinars will be hosted on, there is options here for engaging with parents in the current environment that we find ourselves in. Really, really rich apps that have rich potential to engage with parents, so those partnerships build with pupils, parents and staff in schools. So again, another really, really good app, and Alison will be hosting that for her webinar. So another one, Plickers, that I've not used before, and I really want to because it looks really, really cool, and it's one that you can use without lots and lots of iPads. In fact, you only need one. And Laura McLean from St Benedict's Primary School will be hosting this webinar. Plickers, again, is a really, really useful app, and it's a revolutionary way to collect instant multiple choice responses from students without requiring them to have clickers, computers or tablets. It's basically used using printed cards with a unique design to each student, and then you scan around the room to gain the student or pupil responses, and that is responded to in real time. So you can use the Plickers app to turn assessments or check-ins for opportunities to be playful, engaging for students, and by empowering them to share what they know. As a teacher, students' results can address misconceptions, and you can kind of tailor instructions and inform long-term planning based on those assessments that you can get really, really, really quickly. So that instant feedback from your learners, the way Seesaw and Showbie can also do. You don't have that need to take in jotters, you don't have that need to take in lots and lots of paperwork. You can use Plickers, scan around the room with your iPad and get that instantaneous instant response for assessment purposes. So Laura will be taking you through Plickers and how she's used it in St Benedict's, and how it's been a really good addition to what they do for assessment for learning. So hopefully that's given you an insight to the professional learning that's on offer for digital skills. And what we need next, because we have all our hosts in place, is we need attendees. We really need attendees to come to these webinars and engage with them for their own professional learning needs also, but also so we can upskill our pupils' needs. The more that we upskill our own needs, we will upskill the skills of the pupils and learners in our schools. So please, 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 if you can, when you can, is attend one of our webinars. There'll always be feedback wanted and feedback sought, so we can make improvements to future webinars. If there's things that we're maybe missing or things that you'd like to see, we can build that into a professional learning offer as well. So please, when you see these coming onto CPD Manager, or you see them being put on the Twitter page for Digital Learn for All page, please, please, please get booked up. And if you're not sure where to join, you can ask your DLO, as they will know. As I said there, a little kind of nod to the Digital Learning for All. Check out the Digital Learning for All Twitter feed, and also the Glasgow Apple Regional Training Centre Twitter feed. The two addresses are there for them, so you can link into Twitter. Certainly my own experience of Twitter is I only use it professionally for the things that I want to learn for my own needs. I don't use it on a kind of social basis or a personal basis. But for a professional learning point of view, there's an unbelievable amount of stuff and links and professional learning opportunities on Twitter that have really, really helped me recently, particularly in the last 4 months as we found ourselves with school closures and lockdown. One other thing is the hashtag at the bottom there called Creative Classrooms GCC. Anything that you do with your iPad for your own professional learning or with your pupils or learners and you would like to share and use, we'd love you to use that hashtag so we can get a kind of collation of the different things that are happening, all the amazing things that are happening for our classrooms within Glasgow. It'd be great if we could get an abundance of different things in the variety, and that in itself, when you see that on Twitter, is an unbelievable useful way to learn, to see what other people are doing there. Sometimes we sit in our own classrooms, sometimes we sit in our own schools, so Twitter is a great way of seeing what's going out there in the wider world. So the Digital Learning for All Twitter page and also the Glasgow Apple Regional Training Centre page are great places to look for dates for our up and coming webinars and times, but also to look to see what else is happening out there in different schools and different settings. So finally, just to summarise everything, we have our Apple Teacher Monday programme that's coming back. Told you all about that today, and also we have our creative classrooms that will be on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, but not always on those days. So please check your normal channels for updates. Check with your CPD coordinator, check CPD manager, and check our Glasgow RTC page and our Digital Learning for All pages on Twitter for updates. Next week's webinars are already posted on CPD Manager, and that's the introduction to Apple Teacher, which is on next Monday and its new features, and also Tuesdays and Wednesdays webinars on Teams hosted by myself and Laura. They're already on CPD Manager and available for booking. I hope you can join us. I hope to see you there. I hope to get some feedback as well about what we can do in the future. Thank you very much for joining us today, and take care. Bye bye.